Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, or night. This isn't the Truman Show. This is Coffee with Ciara. The tea is hot. I put ice cubes in it. It's still too hot. I just made it. It's hot. And okay, so I had a salt bagel this morning. The salt is so salty it burns my tongue. And then everything else for the rest of the day proceeds to be too rough for my tongue, including hot tea. But I keep eating salt bagels, so it's obviously not the worst. Hi. I do have knitting. I did do a little bit of knitting this week, but it's mostly boring. Ribbing and stockinette. You want to say hi to the people, William Blake? Come say hi. Hello. It's William Blake. Oh, it's William Blake. But I don't want to talk about that because I'm actually kind of mad at my knitting because I'm starting a hat that uses cabling to make little like shapes and fun little. I'll show it to you at some point. But I apparently just don't have the brain power for anything that isn't just a super repetitive chart. So I got 3 rows in and have to rip them back because I messed up somewhere. It's not that complicated, but apparently I can't handle it. It's okay. It's just the way things are. But I have been enjoying my stockinette in the round sweater project. So that's been soothing to work on, and it is making progress, and I will share that with you next week probably. I don't know if you can hear my cat licking my hands like a weirdo, but that's what he's doing. This is his tail right here. I hung up all the dogs. I hung the dogs. My husband teases me whenever I say that. I'm gonna go hang the dogs. The dog paintings, I hung up the paintings of the dogs. Stop biting me. Get down. At Trailblazer at their mangrove location. So there are 5 dogs and a cat up there right now. And I'm looking at 6 more canvases that I will get to sometime in the future. But for right now, I am enjoying my abstracts. So this one's my favorite, I think, of the 3. So these are gonna end up like that guy up there with a desert scene painted over it and a UFO, and maybe a little guy in the UFO being in the tractor beam. Guy in the tractor beam. Words are hard today. That's okay. There's one. Here's 2. I think this one's my favorite. No, did I say this one was my favorite? This one's my favorite. It's so colorful and fun and bright, and there's clouds, and I love clouds. So. And then there's this one. So these 3, I'm not sure, it doesn't matter. I'm going to decide which way to orient the beam at a later point in time. But anyway, these 3 are kind of meant to go together because they are the same size. Oh, I just love that one. I'm sad to cover it up. But that's the project. Those are the rules. Yeah, so these 3 will go together. I've said that like 5 times now. I've got a vague idea of what scene I want to paint in each, on each little guy. Little guy being a little canvas. These are 12 by 12s. They were really fun to make. I'm really glad I finally got back to these. I keep saying I need to work on my sketchbook practice, and it's true. It really helps me feel happy and sane, and like I'm actually like doing the thing that I want to be doing. Yeah. And if I'm spending a bunch of time on other things and not able to like get to my my big canvases, sketchbook is always just a place to go where there's zero pressure. That's the wonder and joy of a sketchbook. At least it should be, in my opinion. I don't have a lot of opinions on art practices and like what you should or shouldn't do, except for that. I mean, I have other opinions, but that's one of them. You need a space where you can just go fuck around and not worry about how it's going to turn out. That's very important, I think, for all humans and whatever they do. We need space to play. Play is important for our brains. And now nobody is chewing on tape and distracting me. This week got away from me. It's been a week. Didn't get as much. I mean, I did get a lot done. Oh, new episode of the podcast. That's taken up a lot of my bandwidth, which is not a problem, but it just has taken up a lot of my bandwidth. So, and now she's trying to climb the pile of boxes and distracting me some more. I don't know if you can even hear that, so I'm gonna do my best to try to ignore it. What was I saying? Something about my bandwidth being taken up by the podcast, which again is a super, like, I am in love with the project. It's a cool project. Y'all should go watch and listen to the podcast. Episode 2 with Julian Lacombe is out now. But it's one of those things where oh my God, I can't not be distracted by her right now. It's okay. We'll be fine. Doesn't matter. You guys probably can't hear it, so I'm just gonna keep telling myself that. Yeah, so I plan like pretty far in advance of like the projects I would like to get done in a certain amount of time, and I also have a few deadlines coming up actually, and I have found myself in the midst of several fairly big projects that with like competing deadlines. The podcast has taken up way more space than I anticipated it would, which if I thought it through, I would have anticipated this just fine. Sorry, you can see that ring light in my eyes. Let me see if I can adjust that a little bit. There, that's better, maybe. It's taking up a lot of space in my brain. But I also know that this is a season, like, I'll get my systems in place. I would love for you to donate to the podcast, become a monthly supporter. Would be amazing, because then that would take some of the load off, because I'm needing to raise money at this point, needing to raise money for each like pair of episodes that I make, and it would just be nice to have that just, consistently paid for with monthly contributions. So yeah, would love $5 a month or more for that, to keep that project going. That would be amazing. If you're already donating, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because like literally you're like, people like you are why this is happening. But yeah, and then I'm going into like a busy season. It's a busy season for most people, but I have several big events pretty much every month. So yeah, I'm just feeling like there's a lot to do and a short amount of time to do it, but I'm nothing if not efficient and good at planning, so I will get it all done. It won't be a problem. But anyway, I hope I feel like this has been kind of a downer of a little issue of the Coffee with Ciara vlog. I hope you are feeling less kind of scatterbrained than I am currently. I hope it's also, you know what it is? We're in a like very transitional season right now with back to school and you know, whether you believe the planets affect us or not, Mercury is in retrograde. And I swear there has been, I don't know if it's just because I'm looking for it, but there's been a lot of technological issues happening. And just feeling drained and yeah, you know, just riding another wave of that. Which just means I'll be back on the upswing soon. So anyway, yeah, 'tis the season for getting one's shit together and realizing, oh, I signed up for a bit off more than I could chew, signed up for more than I anticipated. It's okay. It happens. It will lull again, and then I'll be wishing for more to do. Yeah, with that, I'm going to end my rambling here and hope that you find a new balance soon. I hope that I find a new balance soon. We'll figure it out. And I hope things start cooling off where you are and the weather is kind and there are no fires. I wish that for everywhere. So far we've actually been pretty untouched by smoke. There have been a couple of like weird, like slightly smoky afternoons. Hasn't been bad, but anyway, let's not talk about fire. I will see you next week. Goodbye.